Hello, it's me Adnan Rahman. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm the market analyst for Errante. Today is a very important day as Trump will take his seat, and this era will be known as Trump 2.0. And the main question lies here is that what will happen once he take his seat. Okay, there are many rumors for this, and I will unfold a few one by one. The most important is what happens in regards to the tariff. So now before I start, I'll explain you what a tariff basically means is it is a sort of a tax that one country imposes onto another. And there are many reasons for that. For example, the imposing country wants to increase its confidence or the output of a local business, okay, or the imposing country wants the other country to adhere to its policies. Okay, there can be many reasons. So this is the basic structure that I have explained you. So now, keeping this all aside, let's come and see what do we have over here. Okay, I'll just take a 5 or 10 minute session with you guys, and then I'll explain you everything. And then today the agenda for today is that I will be explaining you regarding the news from all of these major pairs, what IMF said, and then the stronger or weaker currency, and then the court report analysis. Okay, this is what we'll be doing the whole day, and I'll explain you everything. The reason for that is that while be focusing on this one rather than going into the economic calendar is, let me explain you, let me show you. For example, like see, the whole week we have like news from the pound, from the Canadian dollar, okay, the CPI from Canadian dollar, and the employment news from the from the UK, and from CPI from the NZD, and all of this schedule over here. So do you think that if we have a robust tariff or a massive tariff imposed, or a very less tariff, or even no tariff imposed, so does this economic calendar has any value left? Everyone will focus on that economic news, okay, on the tariff one. So that's why once that is out, once the tariff news is out, only then we will have a sync between the tariff imposed and this economic calendar. Okay, so please have a brief view of this one, but I'm going to explain you right now. I'll explain this one as well in the upcoming videos, but for now we'll not be focusing on this one. I hope you understand the point. So now what happens is that United States is the only country with the net positive positioning. This is, it's talking about the CFTC position. Okay, highlighting continued investor confidence in the US markets. Now let's see what is the net positioning. If I'll open the net positioning, the CFTC net position of the USD, it's the only currency that has net positions of like 12,000 contracts. Okay, 12,000 and something. I'll just stick with the bigger one, 12,000 contracts. Now, if I'll look into the Australian dollar, it's on negative 77K. Okay, GBP is like only 438. Okay, and then we go for Canadian dollar. Let me get my camera out of the way. Okay, so this one, AUD is like on negative 77, and GBP is like only 438, and then Canadian dollar is like on 167 negative. Okay, same goes for the NZD, Euro, and JPY, negative. Okay, and then JPY is also negative. So it's only USD that's standing tall over here. Okay, this is some sort of a court analysis done in the middle as well. Okay, now let me get rid of this one as well. Okay, and then USD strength, rumors of tariff supported the strength in the USD. That is what we are seeing from a couple of days. Okay, couple of weeks I can say, as soon as the Trump won his elections, and this was told to us by or forecasted by IMF as well. Okay, and this is something I'll be discussing over here later on. So what happens in the case of a tariff? Okay, usually the inflation also goes up, and when inflation goes up, they have to curb the inflation, they have to keep the interest rates high or on a hold scenario, and that is the reason what is keeping USD tall apart of all the other currencies. Okay, now, what is expected over here? Okay, there are rumors that 100 executive orders will be passed on the first day. As he comes, he will pass 100 executive rumors. I don't know all of that. We don't know it's rumors, but what we know, what has already been told, that is what we will be looking into. Okay, for example, it is expected that he will impose somewhat like greater or equal to 25% tax or tariff basically tariff is the proper word, tariff on the Canadian dollar or Canada, and then 10% additional tariff on China, and globally a 10% tariff. Okay, globally on all the other economies. And when we talk globally, usually it's been considered as euro and this Japanese currency and all the other ones, the major ones. Okay, so now if there is a tax imposed of 25% or greater than 25%, so the most hit currency or country will be Canada, because approximately 75% of Canadian exports go to US. Okay, so tariff could significantly impact the economy or the Canadian economy. Now, in terms of global tariff could pose significant challenges for the EU and UK. Okay, amid worsening sluggish growth and high inflation, because when tariffs are imposed, inflation is expected to go up. Okay. On the other hand, if the tariffs are imposed on UK and Euro, they are already slugging, having an issue of inflation and growth issues. So this will really be troublesome for them. Okay. So now this is what is expected. Okay, what is expected. Now I'll talk about what are the possible outcomes, like what if this and that scenario. Okay, now let me take you to that one. How can we expect this tariff supporting the USD, or how can we expect the USD to get stronger on what tariff? Now, let me explain you. If there is a 25% or a greater than 25% tariff imposed on Canadian dollar, and 10% additional on the China, and 10% on global. This is what we have already told. Okay, this will be a scenario. This will create a scenario in which USD will boom. But what happens in the opposite direction? Okay, what happens in the opposite direction? Like, for example, we have sort of a news that, hey man, like we are just imposing low tariffs. Okay, low tariffs, somewhat like 15% or less than 15% on Canada. In this scenario, USD can fall. Okay, here by fall, I don't mean that will go nosedive downwards. Okay, it can come into a weakness. Okay, and then over here they can say like conditional tariff or trade negotiations, that let's come into a negotiation phase, what we can do. Okay, it will take a couple of days or weeks or maybe months. In that case also USD can go down, but that is not the proper scenario. Okay, why? Because this whole tariff stuff was the main slogan of Trump's election. So how can he just throw this away? Okay, and as you know, Trump has some sort of pledged to make the US dollar or bring it back on the 40 years high. So this is something, and that can only be achieved by imposing this tariff story. And then something like there is some news like 15% or less than 15%, that will obviously bring a weakness in USD and a strength in Canadian dollar, or like some sort of just 5% or below 5% tariff on China. This will also weaken the USD. Or on the other hand, a global 5% or less than 5%, this will also weaken the USD. Okay, and this is something what they don't want. So I hope I have explained you everything in each and every prospect. And now what you need to do is you just need to look at this chart over here that I have drawn over here. This words, if there is a factor going into strength of the USD, you can go into demand of the USD, or if there is a weakness in USD according to these news, okay, these values, then you can go into the weakness of USD. Okay, this is the whole story what you should be prepared of regarding this whole Trump tariff story. Okay, later on in the upcoming videos I'll be explaining you all these fundamentals over here, and then this COT and some important stuff from the IMF. Okay, have a good day. Thank you. If you have any questions, just drop a comment below the video and I'll make sure to answer each and every one. Thank you. Have a good day.